Hi, you're listening to River Talk Extra on the River's Edge Radio Network. I'm here with Crystal Lee Morgan. She's playing at the LayerCake Festival, which is all over Pittsburgh, many venues, and she's going to play a song for us.
Thank you. The song is called This Life. God, may I grow old gracefully. When I look back, may it mean something bigger and deeper than my vanities. God, may I grow old gracefully. When I look back, may it mean something bigger and deeper than my vanities. To the people who remember my life, in the moments we shared, if thorns are left in your side, I hope roses grow there, Sometimes I can't swallow my pride. Give me a chance to be fair, You know you only got this life, only got this life. So God, may I grow old gracefully. When I look back, may it mean something bigger and deeper than my vanities. God, may I grow old gracefully. When I look back, may it mean something bigger and deeper than my vanities. To the girl who feels so broken inside, look how much you have grown since you left home. The man who loves me from my heart, darling, you got my soul, the child that I raised right. Honey, look at you go, You know you only got this life, only got this life. Ooh, you only got this life, only got this life. So God, may I grow old gracefully. When I look back, may it mean something bigger and deeper than my vanities. God, may I grow old gracefully. When I look back, may it mean something bigger and deeper than my vanities. Take a moment and just look around. Think about what you can give, The judgments, they'll just bring it down. You've got to live and let live, 'cause oh, you only got this life, only got this life. Oh, you only got this life, you've only got this life. Ooh, you only got this life, only got this life. Oh, you only got this life, only got this life. So God, may I grow old gracefully. When I look back, may it mean something bigger and deeper than my vanities. God, may I grow old gracefully. When I look back, may it mean something that looks an awful lot like my family.
Woo!
Thank you.
That was great. Very beautiful voice. Wonderful.
Thank you.
So, Crystal Lee Morgan, right across the
Hi.
table from me. You're playing at LayerCake. Where will you be playing?
I'm going to be playing at the James Street Gastro Pub and Speakeasy.
Will you be upstairs or downstairs?
I think I'm going to be on the main floor or the downstairs floor.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah, they haven't given us all the juicy details yet.
Yeah, I love James Street. It's fantastic. I usually go either downstairs or up into the ballroom. I've never actually seen a show on the main level before.
Yeah, they clear out in the dining area where the like typical seats like for a more traditional dinner there. They just like cleared all out.
Very cool.
Standing room, and I mean the last year I played there, and they had a Bernie Sanders table as
Okay.
well. So that was like kind of a part of it. So there was actually a table out, and then they had the large buffet. So I'm sure it's going to be just as unique and interesting.
Are they supporting any political candidates this year? I know last year it was a big rally for Bernie Sanders, as well as a celebration of local music and art.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I can't speak for anybody else, and I haven't seen anything really posted about it. But definitely still about the local music.
Oh yes, and that's
Yeah.
what we love here.
And
at the
national.
River's Edge.
Yeah, I heard that there are a couple national acts
Okay,
playing as well.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're big into the local here at River's Edge. We're 24 hours local music, so we love to have the local artists on and be able to allow people to meet the artists like yourself. So, but you're local now, but you weren't always local. You were all
No.
over.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about. I mean, you've been to Hawaii. You've lived in Hawaii, California, different places. So
Yeah.
after living in some place
Both
like
coasts, yeah.
yeah. So after living in somewhere like Hawaii, where everything's beautiful and warm and palm trees, why in the hell would you move to Pittsburgh?
Oh, my family was military. So,
Oh, okay, so you
after
traveled.
that time, you come back home and where your roots are.
So Pittsburgh is where you're originally from.
It's close.
Okay.
The tri-state area.
Okay.
So I was born in Baltimore, Maryland.
Oh, okay.
And, my family moved around a lot. So Pittsburgh wasn't too far away to
So
settle down.
did you play in these other places? Did you play in Hawaii and
No.
California?
I mean, outside of the living room, no.
Okay. Well, did you experience the scene at all in those places?
In San Diego, yes. I've spent a lot of time. I go back to California once a year.
Okay.
And spend time out there.
How does
at least
Pittsburgh
once a year.
compare in today's world? Obviously, back when I was a kid and you were a kid, it wasn't, I don't feel, as prevalent. You had a few big names, but you didn't have music festivals with over 100 bands playing in them, as you do now.
Yeah, that's true. California is pretty popular for all of that kind of jazz in general, like Burning Man and all kinds of other interesting festivals on the West Coast. And I think Pittsburgh's doing a great job of getting itself recognized. I'm pretty excited about just playing with so many different acts. LayerCake was a huge success last year, and I'm excited to be a part of it again.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm interested to see what happens when they move it out of the Pittsburgh area. I know they've talked about that some. So I think that'll be
I've heard
weird to
that.
see how that happens. Now,
I heard Philadelphia.
I
is
heard
next on
that,
the-
yes.
And
So,
I mean, Philly and Pittsburgh have a lot of close ties as well.
there's
With
a lot
the
of
local
anger,
artists.
though.
No. I mean, the musicians, we don't have any.
And there's no anger along the musicians.
we're just
Among the
like-
sports fans, there definitely is anger.
Yeah.
Like
But-
the Flyers, as a Penguins fan, less than dirt to me. But that's coming from a sports perspective, though.
Yeah, I feel like Philly is an easy step toward New York for a lot of Pittsburgh artists. I've seen a lot of really great artists like Joy Ike, move on and over there, and her sister Piece. I mean, they were very integral in the music scene over there for a little while. My friend Jasmine Tate, who is incredible, is in Philadelphia now, and you see them kind of plugging in with the network and seeing that grow, and it's interesting because I'm sure people in Philly look at us the same way when they come over and they're like, oh, whoa, I didn't know this was here.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Well, do you think, because you said something interesting, that people go to Philadelphia because it's almost like a step towards New York, and obviously New York is a place where if you can make it, you do well because it's so big and there's so many people. But do you see Pittsburgh becoming a place where musicians can come here and make it?
I think so, especially if you want to think about things on a national level. You can do well because the cost of living is really low and the quality of life is high. So, I mean, I'm not completely supporting myself with music right now, so I can't say,
Sure.
oh, you're going to come here and make $1 million.
I only know a couple people who do, so.
Yeah, but
Jeremy K. Wood, Drew Zimmerman, those are a couple people that come to mind who've been able to do that, but they've only been able to do that by diversifying. They don't do it by just playing.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a city where, you want to come and put down roots somewhere and buy a house and start a business, and that business is music. You could do that in Pittsburgh. It's so easy because the culture's here. I see, you see people at a Pens game. I mean, how many people attend those games? It makes me, I get really excited. And I'm like, I want to make flyers and go pass out flyers and say, Pittsburgh,
yeah, sure.
hey, come to all of our shows because we have these really talented artists here, and it's growing. It's growing so much.
What is the key to getting just the average Joe interested in local music, because so many people tell me, and I've mentioned this on my show before, that there's no local music in Pittsburgh. And I kind of roll my eyes like, are you blind? But how do you break that barrier to reach those people who maybe aren't actively looking for local music? I feel like it kind of slaps you in the face, like, hey, here's local music, but apparently I'm the only one. Apparently a lot of other people have no idea that this is going on.
That's true. I tried to attend a show that Morgan had just been booked for. It was one of the large concerts at the Carnegie Music area in the library. And I was standing outside and I went in to get a ticket and they were like $60 and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't.
Yeah.
But I was standing outside just waiting and kind of like listening through the door.
Sure.
And the ushers, all the people who were coming in were like, okay, well, who's opening? And they were like, Morgan Arena. And for somebody like, I mean, you know who she is.
Sure, yeah.
Adore her, and her
She's
music
fantastic. Yeah, we had her on just recently. She's fantastic.
She's just mind-blowing as an artist. So, you know, I'm standing there and listening to all these people, you know, oh, who's the opener? Morgan Arena. Like, it's just kind of like breaking the lines there between people who are already going out to see music, helping them to understand they could see local music. So, you know, getting more national tours to let the artists who are here support them. I think also just saying hi. I think that there's a lot of onus on the musicians to say, you know, you're at the grocery store or something, make conversation with people. I make music to connect with people.
Sure.
So don't be afraid to go and connect with people and say, this is what I do and I'm proud of it. And, you know, I'm having this show. And I think there's a little bit of a bad taste in some people's mouths if you know, talk too much about yourself or, you know, if you...
See, I've experienced the opposite, actually, because I talk about this network to everybody. I mean, everybody. There are probably people who think, God, shut the hell up, because that's all I talk about. But people seem to be drawn in by the fact that I'm genuinely passionate about this station. And I think, you know, with music, if you do talk about it to people at the bar, at the grocery store, like you say, everywhere where you come into a conversation, that people will kind of gravitate towards that energy, because you know, people ask me what I do, and I have a full-time job, which no, I won't tell you, but I don't say I work for X company. I say I run a radio station.
Exactly. It's
because
like,
that's what I'm proud of.
Well, it's also what you're passionate about.
Yes.
I think, you know, if you're a musician and you're out there, if you're passionate about it, like, that's what you should talk about. You share it from your heart space. It just gets all these good vibes. People like that.
Oh, sure.
Because everybody's looking for that. You know, if you found your purpose and your purpose is music, then you have no reason not to go out and beat the streets.
Exactly. And it's easy to do if you're passionate about it. I mean, because you don't have to... I mean, yes, I do plan myself to go out onto the actual streets and hand out brochures, but you don't even have to do that. You're sitting at a bar, talk to the person next to you, you know, how have you heard of so-and-so, and don't even make it about you and kind of ease yourself into the conversation.
Yeah.
Or, like you said, you're at the grocery store, you're waiting in line anyways, just strike up a conversation.
You know, Pittsburgh music to me feels like I have this really rundown, crazy-looking garage. And nobody's expecting that it's filled with gold bars. And I keep like trying to get people to come. I'm like, oh, no, come see this. I'm going to give you something really valuable. And they're just like, I don't know where you're taking me, lady, but you might. It's like sometimes how it feels. But eventually, you know, you just keep sharing it enough. They're going to understand that there are gold bars in that creepy looking garage.
Yes. So talk to me a little bit about your music. What struck your interest in music?
My father was a songwriter. My mom was a poet. There was no way around it. I was never really even allowed to listen to pop music. You know, for I would say the core childhood years of my life, it was all classic rock and songwriters and just...
It's funny you say that, because I was talking about Beyonce coming to Pittsburgh and the controversy with the police.
Oh, okay.
And I had to listen to her song that morning. I never listened to the song that there was the controversy about, because I don't listen to a lot of popular music. So I kind of can relate to that. I had to like listen, because I had no clue really what it was about. I knew there was a big controversy. I knew there was a controversy about the video, but I didn't know what was in it.
People were pretty upset about that.
Yeah. So
they still are. I mean... There's a lot of heartache in the world right now.
Well, yeah, but I mean, art is art. That's my thing. You know, you have the right to make your art how you feel, whether somebody agrees or not. You know.
I feel you, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of Beyonce, I don't know if you know this fun fact about Pittsburgh, but the not the title track, the first track on the Lemonade album was written by a Pittsburgh artist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's moved on since, but he comes back here and plays every once in a while. Kevin Garrett.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah, he's really an incredible talent.
People seem to come back to Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why is that.
It's the pierogies.
Oh, is it the pierogies?
And the pierogi race.
That makes sense. I do like the pierogi race, and I was arguing with someone who's an actual usher for the Pirates. He doesn't like the pierogi race. I said, how do you not like the pierogi race?
Because he has to get everybody excited and
maybe
probably do a little silly dance.
I don't like a lot of the stupid stuff they do at sports games. Like, I hate the kiss cam. I hate at the Penguin game when they dance for a dilly bar. I think that's really stupid.
I didn't even know
they do. They all dance for a dilly bar. No one gives a crap about the game when they go to the Penguins games. They just want to dance for a dilly bar and kiss on camera, and it's really obnoxious. And then you got the wooers at PNC Park. That's real obnoxious too. But something like the pierogi race is tradition. It's cool. It's fun. Like, I like it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Plus, you get domestic violence. Like, you get what is it, Sally? Like, hitting with the
yeah,
purse.
That's true.
She's just like, you can't do that anymore.
No, not anywhere else, but you can accomplish it at the pierogi race at PNC Park.
Yes.
So you've got that. That's what we need Iceberg to do. We need Iceberg just to, like, beat the hell out of, like, a Philadelphia Flyer fan. Put that on the Jumbotron. That will get the fans excited. That's much better than kissing for a camera.
Yeah. Either that or maybe, like, get him one of those, like, ribbon things. And you can ice skate with him and do a ribbon dance.
That would be better. That would be better than dancing for a dilly bar. I would agree with that.
Just take it a step up.
Yes.
Ice-capades.
But it's interesting because people do come back to Pittsburgh. Jeff Goldblum came back to Pittsburgh a while ago to do the Music Man. I say a while ago. I was still in high school, so that was probably like 10 years ago. But he did come back.
Yeah.
Over 10 years ago. But these musicians and artists and actors, they do come back to Pittsburgh, and they seem to... There seems to be this draw to bring them back to the city, whereas Pittsburgh's not a city that you accidentally come back to. It's not like New York, where there's a lot of big events where you accidentally come back to New York if you're from New York, or you accidentally go back to San Diego, or you accidentally go back to Vegas. You don't accidentally come to Pittsburgh.
We're not even a hub for people to accidentally get stuck here on a layover.
Yeah, so when you come to Pittsburgh, there's a meaning to come here. So I wonder if we'll see more of that, even with musicians, as this music scene continues to grow here in Pittsburgh.
I think so.
So tell us a little bit about your music. Well, how would you describe it? You say you have an influence in poetry. Does that come across in your music?
Definitely lyrically. I mean, everything. The first thing I listen to, and I can listen to any genre of music because it's lyric driven for me. And yeah, I'd say that that's a foundation of it. And then I started just putting the melodies together in my head. You know, as a little kid, you don't walk around. It's like everything's a song. It's like my life is a Disney movie. But, you know, I was actually just starting to songwrite and just play with music. And there's a really pure element to that, just playing with it and just thinking in it. I had a French teacher tell me that. She's like, if you want to learn the language, you have to think in French.
Sure. Yeah.
So I just think in music.
Well, they always say the easiest way to get immersed with a language is to live there, because you're forced to live it and breathe it. And you could probably say the same thing about music and other arts as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, what about non-lyrical music?
Snarky Puppy? I love Snarky Puppy.
Yeah, or like we have on our network, we have Solar Burn, for example. I'm trying to think who else is music, just like no lyrics. Do you find poetry in that as well?
Chop Shop does that as well. You know, Glenn Struther, he was with Jazam, which was another band that did that.
Yeah.
I mean, they do have some lyrics on some of the like the hey Clint Clank's gonna come up and sing kind of pieces, but that's one band I think of that's just super talented. Oh yeah,
and there's almost a message in that as well. I look at like Daft Punk, for example. I don't know if you ever listened to that.
Oh yeah.
But are you familiar with Interstellar 5555?
Yes.
Okay, so it's a movie. Yeah, complete. For those of you who don't know that are listening, a movie that is it's a movie that was created based on their music. No words in the entire music. I mean, in the entire movie.
Yeah.
But you're able to determine what they're saying based on the way the animation was done. But I thought that was interesting how they're able to draw, even from non-lyrical music, you can draw storylines and realize, kind of get an idea of what they're playing about. And I just think it's interesting.
No subtitles, right? So it's not like a silent movie.
No, there's no
That's right,
subtitles.
okay.
Yeah, it's all just straight through music, but based on the way he animated it and the scenes that are going on, you can almost picture the dialogue in your mind. You know what they're talking about and why things are going on, and really interesting.
Yeah, that
movie.
is such a cool concept.
Yeah. So what other festivals have you played in? You've played in LayerCake? You said last year as well.
Yeah, and I was also I was playing last year with the Common Heart singing backup vocals.
I thought I saw you up there on stage. Were you at Deutschtown last year with them?
I was everywhere.
Okay.
I was pregnant and everywhere with them.
Okay. I thought I saw you on stage there because I was at LayerCake, and I wasn't able to see much of the festival because we had a table of our own, but Common Heart was later in the day and our table was done at that point, so I was able to see some of that. And I thought you looked familiar, so that is why.
Yeah, it's that Thrival, which is another great local festival. I mean, they're doing some really large things, but it's still Pittsburgh based. And
I think that's kind of neat to be able to sprinkle in national acts with local artists.
Yeah.
As well.
Thievery Corporation's coming this year.
What is this?
Thievery Corporation.
Oh, really?
If you think about like music without lyrics, they're a Philly-based band, but
okay, very cool.
Yeah, they'll be here this year.
At LayerCake.
Not LayerCake, at the
Thrival.
The Thrival.
Okay, very cool. There's so many festivals in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And what I find interesting is they are not drowning one another out.
No.
You would think with the amount of festivals that are coming into Pittsburgh that eventually they would start kind of killing each other off.
Yeah,
but they don't.
It's almost been like this ricochet.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about what's going to change people's perspective about local music, it's going to be festivals like this.
Sure.
Because how can you deny it?
Yes.
You're going to see the signs all over the city. I mean, Ziggy always has the coolest posters.
He does, yes. So... Who does the artwork for him? Does he do it? Because I know he does some art, I believe.
Cannot.
Those are always
take a
fantastic.
gander at it. They are fantastic. But it lists all the artists, and they're everywhere. He does such a great job of promoting it and getting the word out. And when you keep seeing this message repeated all over the city in your favorite hangouts, in your favorite neighborhoods, plus, how can you deny it?
Yeah, and if you live there, you can't escape it because you're going to hear the music.
Yeah, exactly. So. And I'm really proud to be a part of this wave in Pittsburgh music.
Very cool. So what else do you have coming up? First off, can people find you on Twitter?
Absolutely. Twitter's like my little home space for social media because it's 140 characters and it's great.
See, that's one thing I don't like because I'm such like a word.
There's a workaround for that. So you just have to have your blog populate to Twitter.
Okay.
So you can have like your big long post or even Facebook.
Yeah.
And then when it drips down in that social campaign to Twitter, then it just takes like the heading and then people can click on a link back.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so that way you're not like
tweeting
out like several sentences to try and get your point across. But then people are like retweeting or replying to like half this. That doesn't work.
And I always feel like an idiot too on Twitter because I'm always like, speaking like I'm like some foreign person who hasn't mastered the English language because I'm trying to fit it all in.
Trying to fit it all in.
Yes.
Yes, my handle on there is @Songri-La.
Okay.
So it's like Shangri-La, but for songs.
Nice.
It was one of my like fun puns that I came up with that day.
Spell it out for people in case they...
So it's SONGRI_LA.
See, it's a good thing I asked her to spell it because she didn't even know.
Well, I have to take my time. Take your time spelling and speaking so people can understand.
Have to make sure it's correct so people can find that on Twitter.
No one can autocorrect the audio.
Yes. What time are you playing at LayerCake? What time of the day?
I think around 1:30, 2 o'clock.
Okay. And there are shuttle buses that will go from the different venues. So,
yes.
Yeah, so there's no excuse.
Yeah, I actually have a list of the videos if people are interested. So I did mention that I'm playing at the James Street Gastropub, but also Millvale, Mr. Smalls will be hosting a lot of artists.
Yes,
and
right down the street from us.
Yes, and Spirit, which is in Lawrenceville, and Cativa, which is in Lawrenceville.
Yes.
Both really cool places. And if you have to go to Spirit regardless because you have to go to the Slice Island Pizza.
Oh,
there's a little pizza shop in there, and it's
really
wonderful gentleman from New York City who just
he
grinds the herbs.
Oh, really?
On the pizza from like the herb dry thing.
Very nice. Yeah, I've been to Spirit on the downstairs. I've never been upstairs.
Yeah.
And I really liked it downstairs. I was there for an event. It was Crow Moses, Turnpike Gardens, and
Yeah.
Patty the Wanderer.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, very great event. And they promoted it themselves, and it was a huge turnout. But it was a really cool venue to be able to see local bands play at. So.
Awesome.
Yeah, and Mr. Smalls. I love Mr. Smalls. It's right down the road from us, which is nice. So I'll probably go to Mr. Smalls, catch the bus over to James Street.
Yeah.
That will be
there
my
you go.
my way to travel around. So
That's a good way.
yeah, so it's gonna be lots of fun. So
I mean, free transportation.
yes, you got to go to the LayerCake Festival, people. We've been talking about it all month. It's fantastic. So, and I'll be there. You should be there as well. It's gonna be lots of fun. What else do you have coming up? Any other events?
This is actually the only thing I have scheduled right now.
Okay.
And I'm very excited to get back into it. I just had a daughter, so
Congratulations.
thank you. We've been writing, and I say we because she's obviously a party to my writing.
Sure. Mhm.
And just writing a lot and really looking forward to recording a solo record. I've worked with a lot of other artists and co-written, and just kind of ready to get that record out there to the world. And very excited to be able to share some of the new music. I'm very excited for, James Street. I think that's going to be the perfect venue just to kind of hang out. They have some really amazing, foods and drinks if we're in the speakeasy.
Oh, their food is fantastic.
Yeah, it's such a cool space. If
It
you haven't
is.
been there, I mean, it's like you can go to the 3 floors and be in 3 completely different places. So
And they all look completely different too. They have completely different looks. The upstairs is a big open auditorium type
Yeah,
space,
it's
but they
huge.
have actual tables to sit and eat, which
Mhm.
is nice. The main floor is more like a traditional restaurant as
Yeah.
far as the layout, but it has an old school architecture to it, which is beautiful.
yeah,
And
very
then
much so.
downstairs it has low lighting, and the bar has lighting through the glass. There's a glass bottom,
Mhm.
lighting going through the glass, and this is going to sound extremely nerdy of me, and that's okay. But it reminds me of the Cantina Band in A New Hope in Star Wars down in the speakeasy. Doesn't it remind you of
It
that?
does,
Like, it
that's
has
perfect.
the little stage area, but the bar almost has that
Yeah.
same look to it. So yeah, I love James Street Speakeasy. It's fantastic.
Okay, so everybody's gonna come to James Street
yes, you
and
have
check
to
out
come.
all the architecture
that
and the
description,
music.
how can you not?
How can you not?
So-
We're gonna have like Trekkies.
Yeah, right.
And then like
That's
Star
okay.
Wars
Maybe-
kids.
Maybe
They're
they'll
gonna
get
be
into
like,
music, right?
yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
Maybe they'll experience something beyond James Williams, and then
Right.
we'll be set. So check her out, Krista Lee Morgan at James Street at the LayerCake Festival. I'm Brian Crawford. You're listening to the River's Edge Radio Network, Pittsburgh's voice
Bye.
for local music.